Oil prices moving downward. Brent crude and West Texas Intermediate now trading under $80. After Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told CNBC this morning a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz could be reached, wait for it, today or tomorrow. Iran denies direct talks with the United States and says it's only negotiating with Oman over passage through the strait. Good friend of the program, Matthew Kroenig, joins me now. He is a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council. He served in the Department of Defense and Intelligence Community during the George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and first Donald Trump administration. So let me read to you things that I printed out for myself just before I came down to the show.
Please.
Projectile has hit an Indian vessel, causing it to capsize and sink near Yemeni waters, but all 14 seafarers have been safely rescued. Sources tell CBS News that the U.S. has used virtually all of its global stockpile of long-range missiles, specifically Army tactical missile systems and precision strike missiles, in Operation Epic Fury. So we have depleted reserves of offensive weapons. We were already talking and worrying about defensive interceptor shortages, and an Iranian-backed proxy in Yemen sinking an Indian-flagged vessel. How do we add these things up, or can we?
Well, two big pieces there. So the first piece is this is becoming a region-wide war. And as your viewers know, Iran has been closing the Strait of Hormuz, and so Saudi Arabia and other countries have been trying to get around that by going through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. But now the Houthis, an Iranian-backed terror group, are attacking shipping there. So it is becoming a region-wide war. And then on the...
And with economic implications, because if these things both become not shut, but constrained enough that there is longer passage, more supply disruptions.
That's absolutely right. And Saudi Arabia, one of the world's biggest oil producers, has been trying to route the energy shipments around. But now if the Gulf of Aden is also closed off, that limits their options. They can go north through Egypt, through the Suez Canal, but it's longer time and more cost, and that'll hit Americans in the pocketbook. And if I could go to the munitions, you know, this is really the story starts in the 1990s. With the end of the Cold War, the U.S. defense industrial base was greatly shrunk.
Peace dividend, I remember it. I covered it.
Peace dividend, yeah. And so we had just-in-time production for a lot of stuff in the global economy, including for munitions. You know, if you're bombing pickup trucks in Iraq and Afghanistan, you don't need huge stockpiles. But now with the return of major power war with Ukraine, with Iran, we do need these larger stockpiles. And so we knew we had a problem even before this report, but this report confirms it.
And the confirmation of that report has genuine operational implications, does it not? And not just in this theater. You've got to know China is paying attention to this.
That's right. The biggest security threat the Department of War thinks about is a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. That could be a major...
And our ability to deter it or counteract it.
That's right. And so we've given a lot of and sold a lot of munitions to Ukraine. We're using a lot of munitions right now in Iran. And so if China were to invade Taiwan tomorrow, the Department of Defense wouldn't be ready.
And there's no sign of that. And Matthew, as you evaluate the rhetoric from the president and from the Treasury Secretary about yet another deal, what strikes you?
Yeah, well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We've seen this movie before. I'm skeptical. I'm hopeful, but skeptical. And the main sticking point, as we've discussed before, is control over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is claiming it's its sovereign right, and it would really be unacceptable for the United States or any other country to grant them that right.
And yet another bulletin today saying Iran and Oman have basically agreed to 2 passage routes and some sort of tolling system. We'll see if that sticks. Matthew Kroenig, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming in.